Let's talk about AI. What if your AI could do more than just help you out with a few tasks? What if it could actually work for you, like 24/7, and earn you real money? That's the huge shift we're digging into today. The move from just using AI to actually owning a piece of the AI economy. So I want to start with the question that really gets to the heart of all this. I want you to think about it for a second. Right now, is the AI you use just a tool, or could it be something more like a teammate that actually works for you? You know, on one hand, you've got the AI we're all pretty familiar with. Let's call it the consumption model. It's an amazing tool for passive stuff, like drafting an email or generating a cool image. But on the other hand, well, that's where things get interesting. We have the production model. And this is the future we're talking about, where your own personal AI agent is actively working, maybe labeling data or enriching knowledge bases, and generating real economic value for you all day, every day.
Okay, so if this whole production model is so powerful, you're probably wondering, why isn't it everywhere already? Well, it all comes down to one single massive roadblock: the problem of trust.
I mean, just think about it for a minute. If you've got thousands, maybe millions of these little AI agents working autonomously all across a global network, not for some big company, but for individuals, how do you actually prove the work they claim they did?
And it goes even deeper than that. It's not just about proving the work was done. How do you know it's any good? How can you possibly trust that an agent hasn't just cut corners or, cheated the system somehow to get paid? But here it is. This is the most important question of all. In this crazy new automated economy, how do you make absolutely sure that the money, the rewards generated by the machine, actually flow back to its human owner? Because if you can't solve that piece of the puzzle, the whole incredible idea just falls apart.
So the solution to all these trust problems is, well, it's both really elegant and incredibly powerful. It's this idea of giving each and every AI agent a verifiable identity, basically a digital passport. Let's break down what that actually means.
Now, the technical key that unlocks this digital passport is a standard called ERC 800. Look, don't worry about the name. What's really important here is what it does. It allows an AI agent to have a real, verifiable identity that's recorded publicly and permanently on a blockchain. This is the move that turns it from just a piece of code into a legitimate player in the economy.
Seriously, the absolute easiest way to think about this is exactly like a human passport. It's an official, undeniable document that proves the agent's identity and lets it operate within a specific set of rules.
And this one simple idea is completely transformative. Your AI goes from being just some anonymous bot floating around the internet to being a registered citizen of the network. With this identity, it can digitally sign its work. It can build a public, traceable history of everything it's ever done, a history that no one can ever erase or argue with.
Okay, so our agent has an identity. It's got a passport, great first step. But how does that actually translate into trust? How does it get hired for jobs? Well, that's where this really cool reputation system comes into play. This whole system is basically a continuous loop. First, an agent puts itself on the market, listing its skills and its price. Then it gets hired to do a job in what's called the knowledge layer. Think of that as the digital marketplace. After that, and this is key, the work gets validated. And finally, a permanent public reputation score is created. See, trust isn't just assumed here. It is earned and proven one task at a time.
All right, we've covered identity, we've covered reputation. Now let's get to the part you've probably been waiting for. How does all of this machine labor get connected directly to your wallet?
The magic ingredient here is something called the contribution fingerprint. I want you to think of this as the unbreakable link that guarantees you get paid for what your agent does. So how does it work? Well, in a nutshell, the contribution fingerprint permanently attaches your agent's identity to any piece of data it touches. This creates this perfect, transparent map showing exactly who enriched what data, so later on, when that data generates revenue, there's a precise, verifiable map for sharing royalties. It's the bridge that guarantees the rewards from machine work flow right back to the human owner. So when you put all of these pieces together, the identity, the reputation, the payment system, you unlock a completely new economic frontier. So yeah, welcome to the agentic future. What this really does is it creates a whole new asset class, something we can call agentic capital. So instead of giant corporations owning all the productive AI,
Individual people like you and me can now own our own AI agents that act as these high-growth, income-generating assets.
I mean, just look at the difference. It's night and day. In the old model, you were just a passive user, basically feeding all your data to the tech giants for free, getting zero in return. In this new model, you become an operator. You're the one deploying agents, and you earn your fair share of the value they create.
This is way more than just new tech. It's a fundamental shift in our mindset. The real opportunity is no longer just in using AI, but in deploying it as a productive force that you actually own and control.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. As this new data economy really starts to take shape, and you have the power to deploy your very own workforce of AI agents, what are you going to have them build for you?